Greeting dear students and welcome to the class. We are doing rules of debit and credit, and in this rules of debit and credit we have already covered traditional approach. And in traditional approach you already know that we divided accounts into three parts. One is personal, real and nominal. We have done the rules of personal, real and nominal account also. Now today I am going to give you a very easy approach which is not based on traditional, which is not based on modern approach. This is based on 2G approach. And hope you will like it because this will make these rules very easy. So how this 2G approach works? Let us see this first. So when we are discussing this 2G approach, it is based on getting and giving. So we'll be following a very simple rule. Whatever a business is getting, that will be debited. Whatever business is getting, whether this is in the form of goods or in the form of services or in the form of asset or any kind of benefit, whatever business is getting, it is to be debited, and whatever business is giving, it is to be credited. So let us check this rule, whether this is same as, whether you will be able to get the same result through this approach or not, because this approach is not given in the books, but still I find that this approach, student find this approach as comparatively very easy. So let us see, let us apply this. Suppose first example 1 is when business purchase goods, let us say rupees 50,000 in cash. So each and every transaction has two aspects. You already know that. So we'll be converting two aspects in getting and giving. So in this case, what business is getting? This is my first G. And this is second G. So what business is getting when they purchase goods? Obviously business will get goods. And what business is giving? Business is giving cash. Right? So simple will be whatever business is getting, that is to be debited. I told you this is the abbreviation of debit, and what business is giving, it is to be credited. And you know that in case of journal entries we need to be specific. If you are buying goods, it will be used for we'll be using a suitable term for this is purchases. This we have done in terminology, that purchase word is used when we purchase goods. What is good? What are goods? These are the articles in which we are dealing. If I am a book publisher, in that case it means goods, my goods will be books. If I am furniture maker, in that case my goods will be furniture. So this nature of goods will change according to what I produces. So this is a recurring item which you will purchase again and again for the purpose of resale. So this is the main revenue generating activity through which you will purchase the goods, then you will process, you convert that goods into finished goods and then sale. So this process will continue. So here let us move to the main point. So here purchase debit and cash credit. So final answer will be purchase debit. I am not teaching you how to frame the journal entry, that we'll do later on, but I am teaching you how to trace out two aspects. So this is first aspect is purchase will be debit, and you know that debit and credit both should be equal, because we are following the system of double entry bookkeeping. So cash will be credited. But formally, if you want to make the journal entry, it will be purchase account debit to cash. Now let us apply the same rule on some different kind of transaction. Suppose now example 2. Suppose my transaction is sale of goods rupees 75,000. So here when you are selling goods, what will happen in cash? Let us complete this. You are selling goods in cash. When you are selling goods, you are giving goods, but what you are getting? You are getting cash. So whatever is being received by the business, it is to be debited, and whatever is given, it is to be credited. So instead of goods, I'll be using sales. And you know why in accounting equation we have not specified the sale and purchase word? There is a reason behind it that I'll be discussing. Let us pass here. The rule: cash will be debited because your business is getting cash, and sales will be credited because business is giving their goods, selling their goods. So they are giving sales. Yes, so we were discussing why we have taken this particular case, this sale and purchase, for the purpose of goods. What is the reason? The reason behind this is that if I am using goods word for sale as well as for purchases, you know that how you got sale. Sale includes sale includes cost price plus profit margin. So I cannot take this as equal to purchase. Purchase includes only that part of the purchase price of inputs. Purchase price of inputs, or you can say raw material. So can these both be equal? No. So that's why I need to be specific. Specifically I need to mention this purchase, and specifically I need to mention sales here. And if suppose I am using single term goods here, in that case your goods can be in negative, and goods cannot be in negative. Either you are selling or not selling, this cannot be in negative. So it is better if you use purchase word when you are buying goods and sale word when you are selling goods. So now let us take one more example. Now let us see the few more examples through which we can prove that this 2G concept or 2G approach will work. Suppose business, next transaction, this is example 3. Business purchase machinery worth rupees, let us say 4 lakhs. So what will happen? What business is giving, and this is through check. So let us apply this 2G concept here. So what business is getting? Business is getting machinery, right? And what business is giving? Business is giving check. Check means business is doing this transaction through bank. So the bank balance of the business will reduce. So whatever business get, it is to be debited, and whatever business is giving, it is to be credited. So finally I can say that give debit to machinery account and give credit to bank account. So you can follow this rule. So though this is not a rule, rules are traditional and modern, but this is a simple approach, a very simple approach to double entry system. Now let us apply the same approach on some different example. Suppose I want to sell my old Activa. This is example 4. I want to sell my old Activa, let us say for 15,000, right? And if I am selling this in cash, then what will happen? What I am getting? I am getting cash worth rupees 15,000 against this. This is what I am getting. And what I am giving? I am giving my Activa. So what will be the journal entry? And the value can be any. Yes, I am writing it 15,000 here. That we'll see later on. So here, can you frame what is to be debited and what is to be credited? I am getting cash, so cash will be debited and my Activa will be credited. But sometime this happens that the person to whom I am selling an article, he is my old customer. So he can request me to take money on some later date. Then what is to be done? Then how to apply this particular approach? Now let us see that also. When there is some pending money. Pending money means, and it can be in case of receipt, or it can be in case of payment also. Receipt and payment. So let us see what kind of transactions will be there in this. Suppose you are buying goods, but right now you don't have the money, and you promise to the supplier that you will be making payment after 1 week. Then what will happen? Let us see in that case. So when I am buying goods, purchase, my transaction will be like this: purchase of goods, let us say rupees 20,000 from Mr. Sharma, and nothing is mentioned. You know that it is a credit transaction. So what will happen in case of credit transaction? In this case, let us connect this with this approach. So what I am getting, business is getting purchases. I told you the reason for writing purchases. Business is getting purchase, and what I am giving, business is giving nothing, but I am giving a promise. I am giving a promise that I'll be making the payment in future. And because I have been doing this business for the last 20 years, I am an old customer of Mr. Sharma, so he will allow me. So giving this promise, to whom I am giving this promise? I am giving this promise to Mr. Sharma. So now you will be able to frame the journal entry. In this case, I am getting purchase So purchase, finally purchase will be debited because I am getting purchase and I am giving a promise. So I am giving a promise. I am giving a promise to Mr. Sharma, and Mr. Sharma's account will be credited. So this way also you can frame the journal entry. Purchase account debit to Sharma account. Now let us see it another way around. This was the example of credit purchase, and we can take the example of credit sale also. In case of pending money or future money, when the payment is delayed, when there is delay in the payment. So the next example of delay in the payments, delay in the payment. Next example will be goods sold Mr. Bharat for rupees 35,000. You are selling goods to Mr. Bharat for rupees 35,000. Then what will happen in this case? What I am getting? I am not getting anything, but Mr. Bharat, who is my customer, he will give me promise. So I am getting a promise from Mr. Bharat. And what I am giving? It's a sale of goods. So can you frame the journal entry now? For framing, Bharat, Mr. Bharat will be debited and sales will be credited. Now there must be one question in your mind, that what will happen when you actually receive the money from Bharat? Then what is the journal entry at that time if you actually receive the money? Now let us see. If Bharat makes the payment, see, whenever there is a promise made by Bharat, then definitely he is going to fulfill his promise. So what I'll be getting when he will make the payment in cash. Now I'll be getting cash, and because he has completed the promise, his promise is completed, so I need to cancel his account because the promise is completed. So what is to be debited? Because I am getting cash, so cash will be debited in this approach, and Bharat will be credited. Cash debit and Bharat credit. So this way also you can do this. And in the previous transaction of credit purchase, you will follow the same system. When you are giving promise and when you are fulfilling your promise, in that case you will cancel it. So now let us see whether this particular 2G approach is applicable, because we are testing this approach. So because I find that this approach is comparatively simple. You want to make the journal entry, and how you are making journal entry, this is immaterial, but you should know the correct concept behind this. So I hope through this also you will be able to make correct journal entry, but we are proving it here. So the second type of transaction can be the transaction relating to services. So what will happen when you provide services? When you provide services, let us see how this is to be dealt. For example, you have provided the service you are transaction is received commission, received commission rupees 5,000 in cash. So this is a service when you receive commission, when you provide services. So here you are providing services. So what you are getting? First G, you are getting cash of rupees 5,000, and what you are giving? You are giving services. And what is the name of the service? Under commission we are giving the services. So whatever you got, it is to be debited. So here cash will be debited and commission will be credited. We are not framing because otherwise if you frame journal entry, it has to be in proper format, the format of journal. We are just trying to trace out two aspects. That's it. So now next will be when we get services. We get services means services of employees. Then what will be the analysis? Suppose transaction is salary paid rupees 20,000 to employees. So what we are getting here? We are getting the services of employees. And what is the heading? Heading is, yes, what is the heading under this? Services of employees. You are getting services under salary. And what we are giving? We are giving cash against this. So what we are getting? It is to be debited. So finally salary will be debited and cash will be credited. So this is how it is to be done. So we have done the treatment of when we sell article or when we purchase article, when we purchase machinery or when we purchase goods. Likewise we have done when we get services or we provide services. Now next will be one-sided error. Let us see whether this will be applicable for one, not error, one side of transaction when only one part is given to you, either getting or giving. Either getting is given or giving is given. Like for example, suppose you were walking on the road, some pickpocketer has picked up the money. Pickpocketer has taken the money from you and चलते जेब कतरे ने जेब काट ली. Then what will happen if he has picked your pocket? In that case you are giving cash, but against this you are not getting anything. You are not getting anything means he has not given us any services. So it's a clear cut loss. And likewise, if suppose fire occurs in your factory, then what will happen? And suppose you lost the goods. In that case, we are giving goods. There is a loss of goods, but we are not getting anything. This is also a loss. So if such kind of situation arises where only one benefit is there, or one aspect is there, the other aspect is missing, we need to analyze it whether this aspect is a loss or it's a gain. So if we are not getting anything, so we'll need to write the name of the loss. Loss by fire will be debited, or loss by any reason, loss due to pilferage, and in that case you are losing your goods, so purchase will be credited. Whenever we are losing the goods or you are giving goods to the owner, we always credit purchase. Now let us see this particular aspect in case of gains. So in case of gain, for example, you got some samples of, let us say 3 samples of laptops, and these are free of cost because you are planning to purchase laptops for your employees. So you got 3 sample laptops free of cost. This is there when suppose you are buying something very important item or precious item in lots, then they can provide you in free of cost also. So what will happen in this case? If you are getting the benefit, but this is free of cost, so this free of cost is your profit. So what you are getting laptops, so laptop will be debited, and you are getting profit, this profit will be credited. So this is how you can make this traditional and modern approach more simple by following this 2G approach. So what is there in 2G approach? Whatever you are getting, it is to be debited, and whatever you are giving, it is to be credited. So I hope you will be able to apply this approach in your accounting process, and you can compare also. You apply your traditional approach also, modern approach also, and this 2G approach also, you should get the same answer. So whether you do any of the approach, 3 approaches, you should get the same answer. But this approach is not given in the books, so this is just to make the concept simpler. We can use this approach, but otherwise these 2 approaches will tell you the rules of double entry system. So that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.